is going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Joey JCM, and oh man, it is E3 time, and it is crazy, and I love it. What I wanted to talk about right now is Nintendo in 2018, and this obviously plays into some E3 predictions. So I just wanted to say that I think Nintendo at E3, I think most things at E3 for Nintendo are going to be for 2018. Going into the Switch, they knew that spreading their releases out and having a consecutive, big pop and jump of games, every month so far since the Switch, they've had a big Nintendo game. They knew that was something they were missing with Wii U, and obviously Switch is doing great, so of course that plays into how the Switch is doing also. They're keeping that momentum. It's a great thing. It's what they want, it's what fans want, and even if they're booked up and they have a game that's finished, in this scenario now, they can say, you know what, we need this game to release later on because we already have a big game for each month right now, so you know what, hey, we get a little extra time to work on this game that's finished now, and we can release it when there's an opening spot. So some games might even get a little more development time. But the point here is that I think most of Nintendo's stuff at E3 is going to be for 2018. This year is pretty booked up already. It's pretty packed. And obviously they're going to want to do the same thing next year. So, but then you might say, well, ARMS is coming out and then Splatoon's coming out. But after like June, July, there's really nothing until Mario Odyssey. Well, that's not necessarily true because the other things that are going to be probably at E3 are Nintendo 3DS stuff. And don't forget about the Legend of Zelda DLC that's coming out. So in that gap from like July to Mario Odyssey, they'll probably, fill it and talk about 3DS stuff like I said. They'll probably talk more about the Zelda DLC. So Nintendo kind of does have some backup stuff to fill up that time. And also they probably figure it's so hard to get a Switch that within that time too, it might be a little time to open up for people to get a Switch if they haven't got it already. They know Switch is still high in demand. That might create an opportunity for people to and release some of the pressure and for people to get a Switch. And at that point now, the people that didn't have a Switch before, they have these couple of months in between to play the stuff that already came out in the previous months. So those people will be good in that time period as well. So what do I think is coming out in 2018? Well, obviously the Nintendo and the Rabbids game is pretty much all but confirmed. It's just in, ladies and gentlemen, Mario and Rabbids, or Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, officially confirmed today, a day before the Nintendo conference at the Ubisoft conference, coming out this August. Nintendo continuing the momentum, and I would say as for what we're talking about here, Nintendo now definitely has enough to cover from August to Mario Odyssey, and what we're talking about here today. Now back to the original story. And if you watched my last video, I talked about how Smash Brothers and the Nintendo Online service has been pushed back to 2018, and I believe, like I said in the last video, that is going to launch with Smash Brothers to have incentive for people to play online. So if Smash Brothers is real, it's not super confirmed, but it's obvious that some sort of Smash Brothers is going to come eventually. So I would say that's going to be also in 2018. I'm going to also say that a Metroid game is going to be Nintendo's next year's holiday big release. I also believe that there's going to be a Mario Party announced, whether it's at E3 or not. There will definitely be a Mario Party announced for 2018. I saw some recent news that Best Buy in Canada has an E3 page up, and there's 3 games that it says, there's a pre-order section, and there's 3 games that are unlisted at the moment. But in the description above, it mentions all characters that we've seen on Switch before, but there's one that we have not seen on Switch so far, and that's Kirby that they mention in the description above in that Nintendo section. So there's probably going to be a Kirby game also announced for next year. Let's not forget, it was a long time ago now that Pikmin 4 was talked about to be like just about ready, but from what they were saying, it looked like they were trying to look for an opportune time to release it. I believe it was originally planned to release on the Wii U, but then Switch got so close and they figure, we want as much stuff and momentum as we can on the Switch. Let's hold it for the Switch. So then there's Pikmin 4 that they can also talk about. And I would really be surprised if Pikmin 4 is not talked about at E3 or soon, because like I said, that game was, I think Miyamoto said it himself, that game was pretty much complete, and this was like I think it might have been like a year ago or something, or maybe even longer. I don't even know. But Miyamoto pretty much said that the game is really close to being complete. So Pikmin 4 has to be talked about soon, and I would really bet that is definitely going to be one of the games for 2018. So that's what I think is going to be coming in 2018. That's what I think Nintendo will be talking about at E3, if anything, or definitely soon. But yeah, at E3, I think that's what they're going to be talking about, and most of it's going to be for 2018. And the stuff that Nintendo is going to talk about at E3 that is not going to be for 2018, like I said, is probably going to be 3DS stuff. I believe that Pikmin 2D side-scrolling game hasn't released yet. They'll probably talk more about that. They'll probably talk about Zelda DLC. They'll probably show more about Mario Odyssey, and they'll probably do a big push for indie stuff. There's a lot of accessories coming out, so there's plenty of stuff. Even game-wise, whether it's for 3DS or Switch DLC, in that time between Splatoon in July and the Mario Odyssey time. And they could also, the Legend of Zelda DLC is going to be in the summer, and is also going to be holiday time this year. So that's going to be awesome, for people that are getting Switch this holiday. They're going to have, if they don't have it already, they're going to have a fucking, like, one of the best games ever made, Breath of the Wild, and a Zelda game, alone in general to get. And they're going to have a big Mario game to get, and they're going to have even more Zelda DLC to get, so there's going to be a lot to talk about that's still coming this year, and there's plenty of little things, like I said, on 3DS and stuff that could fill in that time period. And like I said, for people that haven't, Switch is still high in demand, and there's still a lot of people that want a Switch. I know I have a friend that is still looking for a Switch, so there's a lot of people that want Switch that haven't got it yet, and in that time period there'll be plenty for them to play. And people that already have Switch, of course, there's going to be indie games and stuff, and plenty of like eShop stuff to get too, and there's just going to be plenty of stuff for people whether they have Switch or they're getting Switch, plenty of stuff in between. So I think that at E3, Nintendo is going to talk about some 3DS stuff, Zelda DLC stuff, accessories, and the rest of it is going to be 2018 stuff. So let me know what you guys think. Do you agree on those games that I talked about that are going to come out in 2018? Do you think that some of these games are going to come out this year? And is there anything that you are thinking of that I have not mentioned? Let me know, guys. But ladies and gentlemen, this is Joey JCM. It's E3 time, baby. One of the craziest times of the year, one of the most beautiful times. And guys, that is it for now. I will see you later. Wow! Woo! Ciao!